You're live.
We're live.
Yes, we are live.
Hey, hello everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So my name is Joyce, aka MCJT, and today I am so humbled to be your host or co-host for today's training. Brought to you by our one and only our coach Gwen. And I today I have with me my sister all the way from Bamenda, Cameroon. Please say hello to Juliet, who is a mental health expert. Yes, she is a therapist. And for today's show, we really want to focus on this topic that you and I have been hearing all about it. If you're Facebook, TikTok, wherever you are, any article nowadays, there's something about suicide. And today we wanted to talk about, let's talk about mental health and social pressure. Let's talk about how is social media hurting your mental health today. You and I, we know how social media can hurt you in so many ways. It could be your weight. It could be you putting up a picture on social media and no one loves it, not even a simple like, and that gets you going. For a lot of us that are mompreneurs on this group, it's giving birth, and you think you're doing so great with your weight loss, and someone goes, "Oh my God, girl, are you gaining weight?" When you think you're 5 pounds down, Juliet, 5 pounds low, and someone is like, "You're gaining weight," you're sitting there like, "Are you kidding me? I've been hitting the gym for the past 3 months, and you think
Yeah,
I've gained weight?"
yeah.
It could be so many other things. And today we want to have this conversation because it is needed. As a society, as a community, it is something that I strongly believe that we don't talk about it enough. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe that's one of the reasons why it's become so prevalent. So, today there is, we're here, we're talking, we're having a conversation, we're discussion, and we would love for you to join us and let's talk. How is social media hurting your mental health? Juliet, welcome and thank you for joining us. And how is social, what are some of your thoughts on this?
Thank you very much, Joyce. Hello, viewers. It's such an honor and a privilege for me to be here with you all. Um, let's get it straight. What is mental health? Many people just talk about mental health, mental health, mental health. Let's have a clear picture of what we are talking about when we say mental health. Yeah. It's a state of well-being in which you realize your own abilities, yeah, to cope with life stressors and work productively and fruitfully, to achieve your own goals and make contributions to the community or the society. Now, that's how the World Health Organization defines it. But to make it simple so that any layman can understand, mental health is concerned with your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior. These
Yeah.
three key words. What you think about, how you think about it, what you feel, how you feel, and your behavior.
Mm.
So from thinking, we're looking at the cognitive part of your mental health, then
Mhm.
feeling, the emotional part of it, then behavioral. I'm a developmental psychologist and a trauma counselor or psychotherapist, and I've been practicing here in Bamenda since 2016.
Wow.
And this topic is not just crucially relevant, but imperative because I've seen a lot of people get depressed as a result of the feedback
Mm.
they get on social media. Now, the concern we have now, why Gwendy has brought us here today, is it hurting your mental health? How
Yes.
is it affecting your mental health?
Yes.
I would say it affects you to the degree to which you let it.
Yes.
One, why are you on social media? What is your why? Because if you know your why being on social media and you have self-mastery and self-awareness, you will be so calm in here that no matter the noise and chaos outside, you will not get in the inside to distort your perceptions.
Yes.
So it's affecting many people because they allow themselves to be tilted and blinded by perceptions that are not real.
Yeah. Right.
Because at the end of the day, Joyce, look at it. Okay, I'm a chubby girl. I'm
Right.
bulky. I'm plus size, right? I
Absolutely.
know me. So nobody will throw it at me. Say, see that flat one, and I find fault with it. Girl, thank you. Mm-hmm.
You're owning yourself. You own
I
you
know
love
me.
you. Self-love.
I
Self-love.
love me.
Yes.
Yeah. But
So,
people let it hurt them, especially when they don't when they're not grounded in their why.
mm,
Because you mentioned the issue of posting a picture, maybe you're starting a postpartum, and somebody comments like, "The guy don't fat so," and something like that. Yeah,
yeah.
it will
Yeah.
not get to me
And
because I
and
know
that's
that's
it.
not my normal body size. It's just as a result of me having put together that I'm having that weight. And if you are not strong in here, it will make you go crazy and it can get you into a point of depression that might lead you to be suicidal.
Absolutely.
Remember,
So,
these things are just perceptions.
yes. So, so you mentioned suicide, and recently we all know that there has been an international outcry of our young 28-year-old, I believe she was 29, our 2019 Miss America. This queen here that
Hmm.
literally jumped off the 29th floor of her apartment complex in New York. And I will tell you this. When I read the article, it said that she had a full face of makeup. She looked beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And just a little background about this young lady is she was actually the oldest. She was the oldest to compete for Miss America for that year. She was 28 and she won.
Okay.
And right after she won the competition, there was an outcry. There was a whole petition about we have to change the age. You know, we have to change the age. We have to lower the age because she's too old. And just imagine that there's a picture of her when she was crowned, and all the other ladies where, they all gathered and were hugging her and they were all
Mhm.
smiling. But deep down inside, you see the picture on,
Yeah,
on the screen.
I
I bet
do.
you many of them thought she's not worth it. She's old. And I wanted us to just picture that here you are, you think you're doing so great, but the people around you, trust me, when people are suicidal, it's not far. It's people around them. It's the things around them that causes them. So my next thing that I would like for us to really talk about is before someone becomes suicidal, there's a progression before you
Mm-hmm.
get there. And what
Mm-hmm.
are some of those signs that we should be looking for one another, our friends, our family, our parents? Let's be real.
Yeah.
Our parents also go through all of these. What are some of those signs
This
that we need to be aware of so that we can start taking care and caring for one another?
Joyce, this touches me particularly because I'm a suicide attempt survivor. Yeah.
Wow.
And yes,
Wow.
yes, as crazy as it may sound, when I was 17, I attempted suicide in my mom's house. I was adopted when I was 17. So my childhood was very beautiful, glamorous in the village with my grandma, and like, everything was okay. I knew she was my mom. It's only later on that I got to know that my elder sister was actually my mother. And I started questioning. And when she came and talked with me, it was like, okay, this is the situation, and I have to move you in with my family because of this. So changing from that setup to a different setup or setting where their lifestyle, their behavior and choices and way of doing things was not the same with where I was coming from. There was that conflict and trauma started coming in, like, okay, what's going on here? And in that house, I was so terribly abused mentally,
Mm,
emotionally.
mm,
I mean,
mm,
I was made to feel like I was nothing, you know. And when I look at the affluence, the everything, the beauty of the home, and everything they provided financially, and I equate it to the emotional safety or security that was handicapped,
mm.
which is something that my village-like background provided at a top level. I didn't understand why there should be that hate. And my mom will always tell me I'm good for the dustbin, I'm too fat, nothing. I mean, those very, very painful words. And when there's something wrong in the house, they always accuse me, and I'm like, okay, but why? So those thoughts started coming in like, there's something wrong. Maybe these people are, it comes with you thinking about the situation. But mind you, my parents didn't hate me, but their way of loving me was to the best of their abilities or how they were raised. So I started developing these thoughts when I realized I couldn't go back to grandma. Yeah, I realized I couldn't go to my uncles. It was like I was taught, and I didn't have the voice to even say anything or express how I was feeling. When I want to talk, I would be labeled and pushed, and I was just like, no, 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 this is crazy. So voices were coming up in my head. No, 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 no. So I understand what that pain or that miss was going through. I mean, these are the thoughts that are building gradually. When you start receiving very maladaptive words from people you expect them to protect you, care for you, nurture you, and love you. The second, which is supposed to be the the the, the sanctuary, yeah, when it exposes you and start putting ideas in your head to feel like maybe you're not good enough for it, this is those thoughts coming.
Yeah.
Believe me, they are just thoughts. That's not the reality.
Right.
But at that point, I thought, well, they didn't need me. If I'm good for the dustbin, then I can as well just get myself there. So it's about perceptions. And thank God that it didn't go through because when I was in the act of it, there was this silent voice of my grandma resounding inside me, but hey, remember what I said, which brings me to the point of saying that maybe Miss USA does not have psychosocial support because all these people are attentive to right? What we can do as a society or as women is to offer psychosocial support, be
Mm,
there genuinely,
mm,
and have the courage to seek help, to have somebody you can talk to, just express your mind. Sometimes it's just healing to talk about those thoughts and have somebody tell you that no, it's not the reality. It's just a blinded perception.
mm, mm.
And when you can see past that moment, then you can you can snap out of it and change or revert that thought into something positive and healthy. It's really sad that I got to the point where it really was up there that clouded her mind.
Yes. Yeah.
It's really sad. But I
It
think it's a lesson there for us all to learn.
absolutely. I mean, absolutely. And while we're on this topic, I think this is probably the right time to just to talk about some of those signs of early depression. What
Mhm,
are they? The truth is, as immigrants in America, whichever country you're from, we are always on the go. You're constantly working. You're constantly sending money. I mean, it's more like you're working for someone else. So
yeah.
I wanted to touch on some of these early signs of depression, just so that we can be aware of it.
Mhm,
And I know for a fact, there's that loss of interest. The
mhm,
things you used to enjoy, you no longer enjoy. Loss of
mhm,
appetite. You see someone just losing weight.
mhm,
Loss of sleep, lots
mhm,
of anger, and you're always irritated about something.
mhm.
Are there any others that you think that as a community we need to also be aware of, Juliet, from your Um,
Yes, of course, yes. Um, I appreciate the fact that you've actually done your research. You know some of these symptoms. Those are some of the very crucial ones. But let's remember that you can be sad, but it becomes depression anytime you have mood swings. It could be high, it could be low. It becomes depression when it exceeds 2 weeks and it's consecutive,
mm,
and you withdraw from the activities that you once cherished, and your behavior changes drastically, such that those who are around you can observe and see that, whoa,
mm,
there's something here. So you talked about losing weight. Some people actually gain weight as a result of depression,
true, true.
and there are different forms of depression. Like there's sad seasonal affective depression, there's postpartum depression, there's mild, moderate, and chronic or acute or severe depression. So these
Mhm.
ones, they vary, but what we can qualify as depression is when that moment of sadness or extreme moodiness exceeds 2 weeks
Mm,
consecutively.
mm.
Yeah. And at this point, you really need to talk to somebody, not just trustworthy, because you can trust somebody whereas the person is the one digging your grave.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you need to remind yourself, it's always difficult at this point when you are low, but if you can snap or interrupt that thought process, like we do with cognitive behavioral therapy, to know that regardless of what is happening, no matter how crumbling the world outside of your being
Mm-hmm.
is, you are the most valuable person in your life.
Absolutely.
You find that moment
Mm,
to have the courage to not just seek help, because sometimes the family which is supposed to protect is the one that is sending you out.
True.
yep.
Trust
Yep.
me.
Yep.
I've seen it. I've had clients come sit on my couch, and when they recount what is hurting them, disturbing them, making them want to disappear or drown or cut themselves off, or just throw their babies on the street, or just
Mm,
let themselves be hit by a car,
mm.
realize there's always the loved ones around us, is because we don't know how to love ourselves. We try to give our all to others,
Yes.
expecting gratitude, but expecting them to return the favor in the same measure, which
Yes.
is a wrong perception.
Yes.
No, you first. There are times where you have to put the other person first, but I always tell my people, you are the most valuable person in your life at any given time.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
change of perception is very important. And it's about time we women, we stood up for one another, be
Yes.
that safe space, and
Yes.
not run our mouths like mouth dysentery, like people with
Yeah.
mouth
Don't be
dysentery.
a woman that brings other women down.
No,
Amen
fix
to
the
that.
person
Don't do it.
down.
Amen to that.
Fix
You
them
know,
around.
yes.
Mhm.
While we're on this, this aspect of self-love,
Yeah.
is so important. And I really want us to talk a little bit more about it, because a lot of times we as women, men too, I mean, let's be honest,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Men too.
They go through their own.
men go through this too, sometimes more
A
than
lot.
us, let's be
A
honest.
lot.
They do.
They have to be a
They just
man,
hide
so
it differently because they are
exactly,
men. They have
they
an
can't
ego.
show it. Absolutely. So how, for me, let me say, for me personally, I believe that at some point about 2 years ago, I got to a point where I had to remove myself
Mhm.
from certain parts of my life that I wanted to get better. I had to step away.
Mhm.
I had to take a step or two or three
Mhm.
in order for me to build me. But it just didn't
Find
happen.
you.
Right. It just
Mhm.
didn't happen. So I want to
Mhm.
encourage someone out there that it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah,
But
not at all.
it's that desire, right? It's something that you have to crave for. And I want to tell someone that the moment you decide to walk for you, the moment
Mhm.
you decide to own yourself, own your
Mhm.
failures, own your successes, right? Life becomes different. And
And
I can,
accept that it's okay to fail. It's
yes,
Mhm,
okay to not be right all the time. It's
all
mhm,
the
okay to
time.
lose your balance sometimes. It's
mhm.
okay. It's okay.
It's okay to have one friend that
Yes.
will tell you like it is and love you and care about you genuinely, than have 10 that
Mhm.
will pretend to care for you, but you know, and I'll say this, you know, they really
Yeah.
did not. Just let's take a look at this picture.
That's a picture right there.
Yes.
Right? That was her. She
See?
had that day
Oh my
rejoicing.
gosh.
But
Oh
this
my
is a
goodness.
reaction to this same day and this same picture, meaning that everybody that was hugging her and smiling with her was not
We're
happy.
not
Not
happy
all
for
of
her.
them were happy because
Yeah.
that's her message, Joyce. If you
Yes,
can read maybe like the middle to the bottom of the message so people can see what we're talking about.
Mhm.
absolutely. So in the middle, our start, it says society has never been kind. You know what? I'm gonna start from the very top, just so
Okay.
that it makes sense.
Yeah.
It says each time I say I'm turning 30, I cringe a little. Sometimes I can successfully mask this uncomfortable response with excitement. Other times, my enthusiasm feels hollow, like bad acting. Chris wrote. Society has never been kind to those growing old,
Hmm.
especially women.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Chris noted that when she was crowned Miss USA at the age of 28, she was the oldest woman in history to win this title. A designation even the sparkling 200,000 pearl and diamond crowned could barely brighten her for some. Could you imagine? She had a crown that was over $200,000. That alone could not brighten what she was feeling inside.
I'm really, really concerned about us not having mastery of ourselves because it only gets to this degree where you can intentionally end your life or want to end your life or
Yeah. I mean, it's
go
crazy,
to
but
this
sometimes
world.
you would not imagine the extreme to which like people would even go. Imagine this lady being crowned on that day. Everybody, the world sees that happy, excited person, right? But
Yes,
Mhm.
then the same moment she's hearing
Me.
people campaigning for the age to be reduced just because she won the crown at
at,
28. Like, oh my
yes,
gosh, we should stop it. The age should be reduced just because she won the crown. And there she is sitting there with a crown on her head that's over $200,000 and questioning herself, why
yes,
are people doing this? That's
yes.
just to say that you can never be enough. There are
Mm,
all kinds of motives that can push somebody to extremes. A
yes,
Yeah.
day like this would have been the happiest day
Yes.
in her life, which obviously maybe
Mhm.
it was. But
Mhm.
look at what happened.
yep,
None of us knew, none of us saw that.
Yeah.
None of us could ever know. Like you see people smiling and you
yep,
can never know.
yep,
Yes. And I want to add to what you just mentioned. I want to just cue in by saying it's never written on the face. You
oh
will
yeah,
not look at somebody and see that we are this obviously depression. There are some people like us who always have this broad smile, will smile all the time. But when we retract, when we go back to ourselves, all
yes,
those voices start coming in. Anyway, that was the me. I'm in my 30s now, so I've really grown and I've been helping people overcome their own issues, figure it out and declutter their mind. And I think it's not just enough for us to talk about these things because um if we talk about it and don't give a guide or therapeutic interventions or concrete things that you should do or you can do when such talk are coming up, because believe me, it can be overwhelmingly devastating.
oh
Yes.
yes,
Mm,
oh
God.
yeah, oh yes, oh yes,
I'm
oh
going
yeah,
to put up this picture here that Joyce sent me earlier. And I want us to just take a look and ask
yes,
yourself a question. What does this picture tell you? It's
yes,
the reality versus social media.
absolutely,
So,
Mm,
social media sees that perfect looking apple.
yeah,
But the
Oof.
reality is this you that has been eaten up by all kinds of problems, all kinds of
Exactly.
trauma, hatred,
Yes.
all kinds of things, rejection,
Rejection.
whatever, stigmatization. People are going
False
through things
labels.
out here.
Yes. Yes.
Then when you see a picture, they look all perfect. An
Yes.
example is what we just saw, Chesley Christ. There she was with that all gorgeous crown, and people will be envying her, and people will be hating her for winning that crown. But nobody
Absolutely.
knew the reality she was facing right there on that crown where she was being crowned.
Yes.
Nobody
Yes.
could see that. The
This
reality of
brings me
life
to,
is
And
yeah.
unbelievable.
and as we glance at this picture, I'm thinking, how do we change the narrative? How do we how do we start to take not only control of ourselves and loving ourselves more, but how do we help each other? And as I thought about this, the first thing for me personally is I believe that we have to learn to change our approach. And when I say what I mean by that is this: society or social media has gotten us to a point where we text for everything. I was telling my 5-year-old son the other day, his aunt brought him some of his favorite snacks. And she's like, "Oh, mommy, can we text auntie?" And I was like, "No, you're going to call your auntie and you're going to say thank you."
Mm.
We have been brainwashed to think texting. When someone is in a state of depression, someone is in a state of, there's something called being functionally depressed, where you're
Mhm.
moving through life and you're just going, but you're
Mhm.
depressed.
Yeah.
I think it's time for us to actually start visiting people. So your friend is going through it. Don't call them. Don't text them. Show up with their favorite snack, right? Show up with that favorite dessert and say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sis, listen, I was in the neighborhood and I thought about you. I just said, let me stop by. Let's
Mm.
talk.
And to cue in on that, looking at what's happening here in our own African community or Cameroon, we're here in Bamenda, it's really crazy. I'm seeing the images that Gwendy has put up, and it
So
really
sad.
breaks my heart.
Such
I
beauty.
want to say that your value doesn't lie in how your body looks or what people say, which is not in consonance with what you think about yourself.
Yes.
Okay, self-awareness. Women should find time to sit down with themselves because when you know you and you know your shortcomings
Know
and
your
somebody throws it at you, it won't get inside because you already know.
your worth.
And
Yes.
you have to love yourself,
We
even
need
though
to
you are
build
going
our
through this
mindsets.
pain. Yeah, you choose to love and accept yourself completely.
Yes.
We have this therapy we call EFT, emotional freedom tapping, where you're tapping pressure points in your face and say, even though I'm going through this, there's a dash where you put on the negative situation you find yourself in, or the negative thought, or the negative behavior, or something that's very painful. Even though I am going through this, I choose to love and accept myself completely. By so saying, you are sending that message to your brain that, hey, it's not about what's happening outside. It's about what I choose to believe about me, that I am valuable. I
Yes.
love me. And
Yes.
we should stop comparing. Social media pressure is coming up a lot because people are trying to compare. Because
Oh
it's
yeah.
also trending. What can I do? How can I, be in the spotlight as well? No. I started by saying, what is your why being on social media? Because if you know your why, which is strong enough to
Yeah, why
sustain
do
you,
you do what you do?
Yes.
why do you do what you do
So
exactly?
Yes.
You
important.
won't let others get into your head
If it's
because
for
you
the
focus
wrong
on your
reasons,
why.
you'll get the wrong results.
That's
Obviously.
right.
Exactly.
You don't
That's
want to
right.
go buy a house. Like I was just discussing this with a friend the other day, and we're talking about this situation where people go and do things that they are unable to
To maintain.
maintain. You
Mm.
know, your friend bought a car. You don't know how long she's been saving to buy up that car.
Yeah.
Then you're like, you start building pressure in your mind, and
Speak
you
it,
go buy
sis.
a car when you don't have money to maintain a car. You
Hello.
cannot even pay your car note every month.
When
Hello.
you say having rent debts,
You want to go live in Omnisport, for example. I used to live there when I was in Cameroon. Omnispore, you want to live in a rich neighborhood, or you want to do this, you want to do that. You know that you don't have the means to do it, but because
Yes.
your friend is doing it, you want to do it.
Society.
The
Yes.
reasons you do things could lead you to your own calamity.
Hello.
Self-imposed crisis. That's how I
Hello.
call it.
That's part of
Yeah.
self-love.
Yeah.
Realize your limits. The
Mhm.
things that I know I cannot do, if I cannot afford it, I cannot afford it.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
Yes.
Very
I just
okay.
can't do it right now, and I'm
Yeah.
not comparing with anybody, and I don't care if somebody doesn't feel that, oh, she's not up to this because she can't do this. Some of those people, you don't know where they are, where they put their leg. You don't know if they sleep at night. You
Yes.
don't know the sacrifices they made to get to where they are.
Yes.
Love
You know,
yourself, accept who you are, know your strengths and your
yes.
capabilities.
Yes. And
It will
knowing,
save you.
ooh, yes.
It will
And,
save you.
and if I can just add on, just knowing when to take a step back,
Don't compare.
knowing when
Yeah.
to literally, for a lot of
Yeah.
us, when you have your production thing, everyone's doing something. Social media, the celebrities on social media, the 15-minute fame, everybody wants to be known, everybody
Yeah.
wants to have a
Yeah.
name. But that's what's killing us. Learning to take that step back. And I'll give myself an example. At the end of the year, 2021, we were all on my life that I talked about. Hey, I'm ready. I'm going to launch a website, everything. And guess what, sis?
Life
Ladies,
happens.
queens, life caught up on me. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, and I've been through a season of depression. Let's be honest. We're gonna talk. Let's talk.
Yes.
I've been through a season of depression where it was a beautiful new year. Family was excited. Second and a half week in, we had the most devastating loss. Someone that none of us could have ever imagined. It was like, oh, they're not feeling well. Like, oh, he's gone. It's like, what? What
Yeah.
just happened?
Yeah.
What just happened? And ladies, I'll be honest with you, I was so angry. I was so angry that I walked to the back of my house and I screamed. I thought my
Oh God.
neighbors probably thought I was like going crazy. I was just screaming because I just didn't know how to, I didn't know what to do. That's the best I could do just to
It's
get that
shock.
frustration out,
Mhm.
and my team is like, Joyce, let's put this thing. I'm like, guys, listen, if there's one thing I have learned in life is this: when I need the mental break, I need to take a step
You need
back.
to be able to listen to yourself, listen
Yeah,
to your
Mhm.
body, your feelings.
yes. I
Listen
needed
to
to take this
Joyce,
step
listen
back
to Gwen, listen to
and
Juliet,
heal and heal.
and
Mhm.
heal.
Yes,
Give
Mhm.
because
yourself that
too
time
many
to heal.
times we're not giving ourselves time to heal.
Yeah.
And as I was going through the season, and I was just reading, chiming into the word, and what really spoke to me was this: the Paul who was in prison. Paul and Silas were in prison. Guess what? They weren't just in prison, and
Oh,
they were praising God
Mhm.
for the
yes.
who God is, and
Hmm.
Yeah.
not the what they were going through, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
They were in pain, they were in shackles, they were chained, they were hungry, they were on concrete, but yet they knew that God was able to overcome everything. They knew who God was
Their
and believed that
mindset
He was
was
going.
focused on the
Thank
truth.
you. The mindset
Mm.
was on Him alone. And what happened at
Yeah.
the end of that?
The
God
Holy
came through.
Spirit came down.
Yes,
Yeah.
Suddenly,
He
God came
came
through.
through. So I
Yes.
just want to encourage someone out there that no matter what you are going through, find that one person. It could be Gwen. I tell you not, I had 2 or 3 friends that they realized, they're like, yo, what's going on with you? I was like, you know what? I am hurting. And they checked up on me. It weren't a lot of them, but the few of them checked up on me. Sis, just
Yeah.
checking on you. How are you doing? Do you what do you need? And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Just pray.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
realized that I needed to take a step back from everything.
Yeah.
I needed to heal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And it's
needed to
like you said,
declutter your mind.
yes.
You
Is
needed
that
to
realization
reset.
of reset?
It's important to
Got
reset.
to. And that's what, unfortunately, social media has clogged our minds to just keep going. I just have to keep going. I just have to post. I need to get more likes. But yet
Yes,
deep down inside, you're dying.
that's the truth. Joyce, you just talked about this, right? And I always love to share this story because it's part of my strength. You see, this Gwendy Media that I created 2 years ago,
Mm,
it was a way of overcoming a deep pain, a
mm,
deep loss, a deep depression. I lost my mom in 2019.
mm,
I can never forget the pain, the
mm,
void that I felt when my mom died suddenly. My mom was my number one fan, my number one supporter. If you have that one person in your life that you know always supports you no matter what, my mom was the very first investor in this business, I will call it that
mm.
way.
Wow.
My mom went to MoneyGram and sent me money from Cameroon
Mm.
to build this dream, this vision, because she knew that that was something I wanted to do. We've
Mm,
talked so many times, and she knew that I wanted to serve the world on a different level. And she
mm,
said,
Mhm.
Mama, I just got my pension and I wanted to bless all my children. And no
wow.
matter what you say, I'm going to send you this money.
Mm,
Actually, she sent it to me before even telling me what it was for. She just said, Mama, give me your name and your address. And she just got it. She got it from me. And then I sent it to her. And the next thing she said, okay, take the number. So go take the money. I'll tell you to do them. I said, okay. I went and picked it up. And then she said, Mama, you've been talking about this, your channel. You've been talking about this and that. I
wow.
wanted to support you. I know it's not enough, but it's my pension that came through, and I wanted to bless you, to open the door for you. How much blessing
Hallelujah.
can do. When my
Mm,
mom passed, I was pregnant for my son. He's now 2 years. That child, when I got pregnant for him, I was like, oh my gosh, I was not ready for a second baby right now. But I didn't know that God was preparing me
mm,
for that time when my mom would be gone. Because my mom passed when I was pregnant for him. And when I had that child, he was my comfort.
mm.
Mm.
He was like he was that child that I looked at
It
him
was
and
like your
I
safe
felt
space.
I
Yes.
was revived. I would
Yeah.
look at
Mm.
him and my spirit would come back to me. And
Mhm.
my strength was constantly rebuilding. And I would remember my mom. And I would
Mm,
remember all the things she told me. And I decided to focus on the things that I love. That's
mm.
one way of
Mhm.
healing.
Yes.
Yep.
Focusing on things that you love, things
Yes.
that bring out the best in you.
In you.
And I
Absolutely.
realized that the things that bring out the best in me is being there for others, is
Yes.
Yep.
holding others up, is sharing what I know, is sharing my passion, opening my heart up to others. And I told myself, no matter what, I'm going to try as much as possible because that could be the light for one person.
Mm,
Mm.
And that one person is all that matters every day. And I want you all, that's the message I just want to share out right now. Know that whatever it is that you're doing is for somebody out there.
Yep.
That one person, just
Mm.
pray that that person finds the message that you're passing out. It's not for the multitude,
no.
Yep.
it's for one person. And if you're able to touch that one person's life that day with your message,
Mm,
your goal has been met.
Yes.
Yes, because there are people out
Absolutely.
here who are time bombs. They have
yes.
so many problems that they just need one word.
Oh, yes.
Sis,
Mm.
you can
Yes.
count on me.
Yes.
Mm.
Sis, you can lean on me. Just
Yes.
talk to
Mhm.
me. I'm always just a DM away,
Mm.
always a phone call away. Let's hold hands together. There's not enough problems out here, but we can lift each other up and we
Yes, we
can
Yeah.
be
can.
stronger together.
Absolutely.
Yes. I'm so proud of you for your
Yes.
courage, your tenacity, and resilience. And it reminds me a lot of my grandma. She's my strongest
Hi, health
support
wise,
system.
Shula.
Yeah. So when I was doing my PhD coursework, there was a time she called me. She went to her neighbor and said, "Could you dial my number?" So I was called. She just said, "I need to see you first thing in the morning." I was scared. I was like, "Why? This woman has never called me to say this." And prior to that, I told her I had difficulties with finances and things like that, but I was figuring out how to go about it. So when she called me, I was really worried. She has never called to say, "I need to see you first thing in the morning." She's not
Hmm.
good detail. She just said, "I need to see you here in the village first thing in the morning." So I couldn't sleep. I was like, God, whatever it is, give me the courage. Just give her peace, strengthen her. If there's anybody who is toxic in her life, help me, fortify me to help her eliminate those toxic people in her life. Because one thing we need to know how to do as ladies is to eliminate toxic people in our lives
Oh,
and love them
yes.
from
Cut
a
it off.
distance.
Oh, yes.
And love them from a distance.
Please share the video,
Yes.
everyone.
And forgive in advance too. You know? So the very next morning by 6 a.m. I was at the park. And when I got to the village, I saw her with other women in the house. I was like, hey, what could this be? I'm like, okay, expecting the news to come, whatever it was. There were pleasantries and all of that. When they let us play, she called me into her room. She said, sit down. Ah, I said, Grandma, what is it? She said, sit down. She went open somewhere, brought her wrapper, untied it, and gave me a bundle. It's a paper wrapper, tied. And I'm like, okay, what is it? She said, when you say that PhD is stressing you, you have difficulties and you've not been paid.
Oh,
This is some money that I got my Jangi with. Please
oh
take it
God.
and add it to your coursework. Add it
Oh,
to support your schoolwork. You know,
oh,
you're my only doctor. And
My
see, I
only
was
doctor.
tearing up.
Oh.
I was tearing up. I'm like,
wow.
Just when you
what?
thought you've lost it, there's nobody to help. Grandma will
Yes.
remove her
Grandma
that
came.
money from the head of her wrapper. I mean,
Look at
those who are
God.
from Africa know what we're talking
Yes.
about.
Yes.
I
Yes.
know, right? I was like, so I really relate and connect with you when you say your mom sowed a seed in your ministry. I mean, when she passed, it was
That
really
was just few
challenging.
months before she died. Like she knew,
To,
like she did that.
Wow.
And
yeah,
when she died,
yeah.
I kept asking
So,
myself, oh
so
my
you need
God.
support systems. You need
Yeah.
psychosocial support systems.
No.
If
Yeah.
you have like Joyce, if you have those your friends who call and check on you, asking what how they can be of value to you, what they
Yes.
can do to make you feel better. Then me, I have my grandmother, and now I have my younger sister Katitu, who's coming up, and we are being there for each other. Or you have those support systems that you can conveniently go to and who
Yes.
are vouching for you. Imagine my grandmother calling
Absolutely.
me and like, this is my Jambi money I benefited. Removing it from my head wrapper. And I know how it used to be. No.
What are you
Right.
talking
They
Right.
about?
let it
Right.
support that your school work.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was in 2019. I was like, hey, I felt so blessed.
That's when you know
And
that
that
Yes.
despite
that
everything,
helped me to cut off some people that I was counting on who made
Absolutely.
promises.
Listen.
Oh, please. Please, let's stay on our lane and do what we can. And we
Not
cut off those toxic people.
I would just add on there. I think Juliet, you said this earlier, not having an expectant spirit of people, not expecting people to do for you. Because I think that's where we get hurt.
Mm,
Um, and we can add it back to the social media aspect of things where, you post something, it's like, oh, you're expecting, like, you're checking that picture every 2 seconds because
likes,
you're expecting
comments,
likes
shares,
and comments
yeah.
and shares.
nothing is happening, and you're like,
And and you're like, wait, I have done so much editing on this picture. Like, what's going on? Right? You've added all types of filter. But we have to get to a point. And I saw a comment that came through that someone said you have to take responsibility for you. You have to get to a point, as Julie has said in the past, to love yourself,
Mm,
to have that positive affirmation about you, to
mm,
be able to say, you know what, this is me. These are my scars. These are my
mm.
here are the things that I'm bad about. These are the things that I'm great. Here are the positive, the
yes,
negative.
Yeah.
Accept all of you to be
Yes.
able to find that inner peace that
Mm,
will carry you on. I kid you
mm-hmm.
not. And once you get to that point, let me tell you, some people are going to hate. People are going to like, oh my gosh, she thinks she's all that. She thinks, no,
That's
that's
their
once you
business.
find your peace. Trust me, there's no going back.
Mm-hmm.
Your walk will be different. You will be
Mm-hmm.
authentic about the things that you will be intentional about the things that matters to you and the people that are most important. So just we have to get away from having that a spirit of we're over expecting people to do for us. I'll just say this last thing. I had someone ask me one time, why do you share all these other people's stuff on your status and on your social media stuff? They don't even
Oh
share you.
wow.
And I said, you know what? I'm not sharing their things because I
You
expect them to
expect.
share mine.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
share it because number one, it touches my heart. And number two, I know it's going to bless someone. Sometimes it's not me, but I know that there's someone on my contact that might need this information.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I know one thing, I'm doing it genuinely because I know that God is going, my own blessings are going to come. Not from
Yes.
this person. It's not the people that you know that are going to make you, but the people that you don't know
Yes.
Exactly.
that are going to take you where you want to go. So, ladies, my brothers out there, just not having that, don't expect people to do for you, but do for them and do for them generally.
Yeah.
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 So
So
true.
let's
So
take
true.
a few comments. I see a very, very long comment here by Solange, and I
Yeah.
think we should probably take it.
Yes.
Solange, thank you so much for joining. Thank you everyone for joining. Hi, Shula. I just realized that this is Shulamite. Shulamite. This is my friend and big sister from school. I just saw her picture. So let's take this comment here from Solange. It's quite long and lengthy. She says, we
We
I don't know what
post, we
we
post
post
fake.
fake happy family times, fake personal stories. You have a new date. The whole world knows in 2 days.
Mm,
You let people into your personal life. Then, when things are falling apart, you start thinking how you will manage to continue to face what you have already given to your Facebook family. You
mm,
have marital issues, you go live on Facebook and talk about it rather than seeking real advice. You have a misunderstanding with someone, you go on Facebook and insult people. You
mm.
really need to think deep. Hmm.
That's what I call self-imposed crisis.
There you go.
That's what social media does.
Yes.
Comparison. Your
Yes.
friend is attacking people online because they said this about her. You go now, you're not that kind of person. You don't even have the kind of courage to bear those kind of things. You don't know those kind of things in your life. Then you
Nope.
go now, you muster the courage. You're like, huh, all that people the way they talk say this, eh? Then when they throw one bomb at you, you start praying for or rap, you rabash the whole world around. You know that you don't have the heart to bear those kind of things, right? When people
Absolutely.
start calling you and threatening you, you want
Yes.
to block your phone, you don't know what to do, you want to change houses, you want to
Yes.
move. Who send you? That's why I said know your limits.
Yes.
Know your limits. Know when
Yes.
to
Yes.
stop. Know when to say it's enough. Know when to say I'm not ready for this right now. Know when to say I move away from this. Know
Yeah.
when to say, listen, we just have to be able to pick that up.
I know when to say I'm
No,
sorry.
yes. So we have this other comment from Manka Clarice. Juliet, you want to take that?
That's how I'm instead being depressed more, trying to please people, but I'm always called the bad one.
Mm,
Hey, Maka, I really relate with what you're saying. And this is what I'm going to tell you. Okay. Stop people pleasing. Stop doing things for people.
mm,
Well, where are you now in your life's journey? Do you? No, this is what self love is. Self love is having a high regard for your own well being and happiness. If you've already come to that realization that no matter all what you do to please people to help them, they still turn out to call you the bad person. Correct. Love them from a distance. It might be
yes.
difficult because they might be people really close to you. They might
Mm,
even be blood relations. But sweetheart, I can help you to figure that out and love them from a distance.
mm,
It's not enough. It's not enough to say people are cutting your boundaries. How deep is the line that you've drawn to
mm,
enable them not cross it?
mm,
Now that you already know that this is what's happening, don't allow yourself to be in that circle again.
mm.
We can talk more on
So true.
things you can do to declutter your mind such that you do what you can when you can, not based on what they want you to do. Because if you fall down today, those people who are not appreciating the little effort you're putting in to see that your dreams are realized, you not even give a damn if you're
Absolutely.
serious.
Absolutely.
So please don't hurt yourself. And it's about replacing negative thoughts with happy thoughts, not just happy thoughts, but where you want to see yourself, visualization, mindful meditation, intentional breathing. These are very basic therapeutic exercises you can do to gain mental clarity and
Yeah.
to oxygenate your brain when you're feeling like you're depressed or stressed or anxiety is catching you over. So,
Mm.
Manka, please, I understand where you're coming from, and I want to tell you that go for self-love, okay? It's not selfish to put you first. It's not.
So I want us to talk a little bit about the recent happenings that we've had with mental health and people putting up pictures. Let's start with this one by Chesley Christ. She actually did put up a post on the day of her death, right? She put
Hmm.
up a post right there on the day
Mhm.
of her death. She said, "May this day bring you rest and peace." That was few hours before she died. I'm
Wow.
going to take this other picture here by our own Cameroon superstar rapper, Tila. I mean, this one was a shocking thing, but we know that a few months ago, Tila had come out to talk about child abuse and what she had gone through while she was a kid. She says she's tired of living, just wanted to say goodbye. No pity party, please. Everyone would die at some point. So please don't dramatize this. Just accept it and say your goodbyes. Not that I care at this point. Just want to give some closure to those of you who might care. I've
Mm.
tried to stay alive for so long, but I'm no longer fighting. I never asked to be born in the first
Mm.
place. I hate this earth. This
Wow.
is so wrecking.
Mm.
It's deep.
Yeah.
It's deep. She's been through a lot. I've seen her share her story. She talked about child abuse and everything, and family trolling her, and even people trolling her on social media for opening up. And sometimes you don't even know if you should. That's why you need to find the right people to talk to.
Yes. Yes.
This picture here, Felistus Sherry Banda. When I die, all my MUA friends should be in full face beat and pink shirts, tops. My male friends can rock pink t-shirts, no black, please. Please don't come here telling me about how I shouldn't be talking about death. We will all die one day. What is this trend out here? What is this trend out here? And this one, she says, before people realize it, it will be too late. What do we have to say about this?
Sis, it's the social media trend. It's the social media trend. And I was looking at a post or an article that said since the creation of social media, and of course back then it was just Facebook, and we have
Mhm.
gone to God knows how many other platforms they are today. There's been an increase of it used to be 13% of people were depressed. Now with social media, it's 66%.
Oh God.
Hmm.
66% of the United States population is depressed due to the fact that social media plays a cause in that depression. Like we talked about, you're posting things, no one loves it. You think you look great. You want to be the celebrity. Everyone wants to be a star nowadays. I'm telling you. Like I tell people all the time, my kids love to sing and they're like, "Oh, post it." I'm like, "No. No, these are my kids." And there's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to protect them
Yeah.
Mhm.
because you just don't know. You just don't know that this era of I want to be something, and you
Hmm.
become so embedded in it that you forget who you really are. You forget
Yeah.
your why, as we said earlier. Why are you doing this? And
Yeah.
having that team, having that person to say, you know what, I think you need to slow down. You know what, I think you need to take a break from this. you need to find that team. You need to find that one person that will tell you that, no, Gwen, it's not red, it's pink. You're like,
Yeah.
no, it's red. No, it's pink. It's not red. You've got to find that person to say it like
Find
it
your
is.
tribe. Find your tribe
Yes.
of power,
Say it like
power
it
lifters.
is.
Yeah.
Social media has gotten us where we play with words. No, if
Yes.
it's gray, it's gray. If it's black, it's black. Let's
Yes.
keep it real and let's be honest with one another. That is
Mhm.
what I have to say, because it's become too much. Like Regina King's son, 26-year-old. I mean, it's the wealthy, it's the millionaires, it's average Joe, it's the poor.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
It's
everybody.
one,
It touches everybody equally.
yes. But it's one
Yeah.
thing. Social media has played a role, and her son, Ian, who passed, he also posted something about, and I'll just try to paraphrase it. He said that, that he something about he wishes Instagram wasn't there. Just
Yeah, yeah,
the,
I saw that.
yeah, that this fake lifestyle that we have online. Just imagine what he was going through, and his mother just celebrated his 26th birthday with him.
That picture again.
Yes,
What
yes,
we
the
see on
masking
social media is perfect, but what people are
versus
going through is
yes,
devastating.
yes,
But
yes,
Gwen, I get to ask myself, why would we allow ourselves to seek validation from outside when we
It's
know
so
who we
easy to
are?
be carried away in that wave because of things happening and the trend, and because we're
yes,
human beings, we
yes,
would
Boom.
easily fall into that place. But the truth is, you need to find your power. You need
yes,
to find your balance. And there's something that I taught about in our Global Female Entrepreneurs group, where I was talking about replacing the negative thoughts with the positive, right?
Mhm.
Replacing limiting beliefs with limitless ones. What are those things that you have achieved in your life that you're proud of? Was it when you got your degree? Was it when you had your baby? Was it the
mm,
day you got married? Find those happy moments.
Mhm.
Find those things that revive your spirit and bring you back to who you are.
Mhm. Mhm.
yes,
Find the reason why you started that thing in the first place, as Juliet
Yeah.
mentioned earlier on.
Mhm.
Replace those negative thoughts with the positive ones. Some things that I do whenever I start feeling low, I get into speaking in tongues. I just start
Mm.
speaking in tongues because it helps to revive my spirit, right? Or I start singing, or I just put on some music and I put on my earphones. Find those things that revive
Mhm.
you and put you in your position of power.
Mhm.
That is going to help you. Seriously, because if you start feeling that negative feeling, it comes to every one of us. It's
yes,
how you deal with it that will
yes,
either move you forward or take you to your doom.
that's
Mm.
right.
And we're here to figure out how can we make it better so we don't get to that point where I just can't handle it anymore. The negatives
Yes.
will never stop. But how
Mm,
can we
Exactly.
fix it? How can
Exactly.
we come out of that bad zone where we could be finding ourselves today?
Uh, Thank you very much, Queen. That's basically part of what we do with cognitive behavioral therapy, because we are trying with that form of therapy. There are different therapies that we use or that I use in treating or healing clients from their traumas, their mental health concerns, and things like that. So what you just described there is basically what obtains with CBT. Yeah, but there are other therapies that works instantly to just make you feel better and gain clarity and move forward. And one thing I must say is that most people don't actually know where to get professional help,
Mm-hmm.
because some go to pastors when they are burdened, whereas pastors also have their own issues. So you might be expressing something to a pastor seeking counseling or guidance, whereas what you're expressing to him as a challenge is a trigger to him, and he might snap, and what you say to him will not be healing or helpful.
Hmm.
So there is need for that professional help, but that
Juliet,
safe space.
there's
Yeah.
something that, not cutting you short, something just snapped to my mind. You know how we Africans, we believe so much in our men of God, which is a good
Oh.
thing because we have that powerful connection with the word of God and all that. Sometimes people go out there and they talk about themselves. They go and give all their story out. And then the next thing, it comes back to you in a different form and it starts depressing you, right?
Yeah.
So you need to know what you say and how much you say, to who you say it, right?
Yeah.
You need to know. Joyce talked here about you maybe keeping your children off social media or you talking about your stories. Solange mentioned the fact that, oh, you have a quarrel with your husband. The whole of social media knows that you had a problem with your husband because your post that morning suggested that, oh, there's surely trouble in paradise.
Oh
And
yes.
guess what? People who don't like your happiness, who were happy, who were not happy that you got married in the first place, they'll be like, oh, we thought she had the most perfect marriage on earth. So what's happening in paradise today?
That becomes a topic of discussion
So
for
you
the
need
day.
to know where to stop. You need to know what to put out there. You need to know who to talk to. Not everybody should hear your story. Not everybody should hear your news. Not everybody should know your next step about what you're doing, sister.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're just opening the door for the devil. Sometimes just keep it to yourself and bring it out when you have you ever wanted to do something and just because you mentioned it, like, oh, I'm planning to do this thing next week and never did it?
Present.
Because there are negative spirits in the air that will
All the
capture that
time.
dream and crush it for you.
All the time.
But we
Yes.
don't keep our mouth shut. We don't know how to stay quiet, how to keep it together.
Yes.
You think it's good news and you're excited and you want to share it out. You're like, oh, sis, you just need to know which sister to talk to. Not
That's
every
right.
sister should hear that story
Nope.
because not every sister will pray for you to succeed.
No.
Not every brother, not every, what I mean, sister, I don't mean sister. What I'm just saying is
Yeah.
like, not everybody in general, in
Absolutely.
quotes. Okay. So, guys, don't misunderstand me. What I'm trying to say is that we should know what to put out there, when to put it out, who to even
And
talk
why?
to, and
And why you're
why.
putting it out?
Yes.
We can start by protecting our own selves. There are things that I will not venture to do because I don't know if I can handle it. You'll never see me start a social media fight. I don't have the power for it. Like, I don't have it. It's not in my, it will kill me probably if I start. I know my limits. It's not
Yes.
for me. I move, right?
Yes.
I go just walk,
Yeah.
I go move.
Absolutely.
It's not for me. We need to know
Absolutely.
our limits. That could be something that will help us. Know who you are. I know what I can handle. If I know that I cannot handle a fight, I can start a fight. I can, when I start and see it's getting hot, I will just leave. I already know my limits. I don't want to get depressed. I know that things will depress me, but you should know your limit. Knowing your limit, knowing who you are, understanding yourself is going to help you so much. It's going to help us so much.
And also knowing, minding what you hear, the
Minding
things you
what
allow.
you hear, turn the
It's
volume down for
selective.
things that you don't want to
Yes.
hear.
Minding what you hear and
Selective.
minding what you
Absolutely.
see intentionally.
Yes.
Yes,
What you hear, what you
yes.
hear.
Yes.
It's not just about the sound, but the people you listen to, the
The
Yes.
things you allow to get
environment
to
that
you.
you accustom yourself to,
Yes.
the kind of people around you,
Mm.
people and spaces, what you hear is very important, and what you allow your eyes to see.
Mhm.
Sometimes certain things don't concern you, but you want to see, you want to hear.
You want to check it
And by
out.
so doing, you impose prices upon yourself. It falls back.
Social
It
media.
falls down.
Social media. Let's go back. Everybody wants to know what's happening. Everybody is an expertise in something.
Yeah. And if you
No.
put it out there, it becomes everybody's business.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
So don't put it out there and say, oh,
World
this is not my
Wide
business.
Web.
Wait, nobody should talk about my thing. It's out
No.
there. You put it
It's
out there. So it
it's
means
the
that you put it out there for the public.
it's the
Mhm.
World Wide Web.
You got to be
Yeah.
careful what you're putting out there. You got to be careful the people you
Yes.
talk to. You just got to be
Yeah.
careful. Find your tribe. Find
Mhm.
your tribe. You know there
Mhm.
are people. Find your soul sisters. Find your soul
Mhm.
community
Yes.
where you can be yourself, where you can openly express your vulnerability and know my sister got me. She got my back.
Mhm.
I
Yes.
can lean
Mhm.
on her. I can cry.
Yes.
Mhm.
And she will mock me. We
Yes.
Mhm.
can cry together. We're in this together. We want to build each other up.
Yes.
You know
Gwendy,
why you're
I
laughing?
said
Something came up.
something just came to my mind, uh, about this soul safe space, somebody you can talk with, somebody who's got your back. So, of course, it's no secret I'm single. So I've been on dates, like trying to collect data about the other
Now
person to
that's
see
juicy talk.
if
Let's
there's
be on a good stream.
that kind of thing. So there's this particular guy.
Uh-oh.
I took interest in him. We took interest in each other anyway. He's a physiotherapist or something. I'm a psychotherapist and all of that. I thought, okay, something could
Mm,
come out of this. So I invited him to get to know me by watching me talk. Or I was guest speaker at one major event in one of the cities of Cameroon, and he sat there with me. And when I share my story of the trauma I went through and everything, it's not like I'm still there. These are things that happened when I was 17. I was
Absolutely.
20, 23. My last episode was when I was 23. Now I'm in my 30s, right? So when I'm sharing these stories, it's not like,
oh no.
Juliet.
Oh no.
Oh,
I think maybe the network or the lights in Cameroon.
probably,
Gosh, Juliet is
probably.
joining from Cameroon, guys.
Oh
That
man,
was a sweet story. How
that was
can this
such.
happen?
I was, you're waiting for that landing. I was waiting for that landing too.
So, hey, everybody, we're talking about mental health, where to draw the line.
Yes,
How can we let social media not get into our skin?
yes,
Is social media hurting your life? Is social media hurting your mental health?
yes,
Surely it is. There's so many good things out here on social media, so many bad things too. But you need to choose what you put your attention on. That could be the first step to healing, right? You need to choose what you look at, what you listen to, what you pay attention to. There's certain things that people could say to me and it wouldn't really bother me because I've made up my mind not to
absolutely.
allow those things get to me.
Yes,
Yeah. Precious says that it's very important to protect our minds. Be careful who we speak or listen to. Do they uplift or bring us down? That's
that's
a
right.
good, very good point.
Mhm.
So let's say the issue with pastors too is that they consider themselves counselors, but they are not. We have to understand that too. Yeah, not all pastors are counselors.
Yes,
It's hard to believe it, but it's true.
and pastors are human beings too, Gwen. Let's be
They are.
honest.
Sis. That's it.
They
That's
are
that's the
they are
truth.
human beings too.
Yeah.
Like like my pastor always tells me, it's all in the Bible. Just
Mhm.
go there. If you need a passage, I'll tell you. Go read it,
Go read
and
it.
when you read it wholeheartedly, God will speak to you.
Get that juice out. You got it
Yes,
right there. Right
yes,
there.
it's in there, sis. It's in there.
Precious says, Gwendolyn, I agree. Singing, worship, and praise also helps me deal with some of those low moments. Yes.
Amen.
Find
That
those spots.
yes, precious. I'm with you.
Find it.
Praise,
Find those
praise,
things.
praise, praise,
You know what?
praise.
There's some people that I listen to when I'm going down. Like if I can talk to certain friends at some point, or maybe my sisters when I'm going down, I speak to God. Sometimes I just really need to listen to some powerful messages. I have some key messages that when I put them on, it revives my spirit. And there's certain movies, right, Joyce? This is really crazy. Like there's certain movies that when I watch them, it brings my spirit down.
Wow.
Like
Like which
I
one?
don't like watching very sad movies, like especially in the evening. Like movies that make me feel sad and cry, and it just makes me go to bed and I start thinking about all kinds of things in the world that are not going well, and
It
it brings my
it
spirit down.
sounds like Lifetime movies. There's always someone being hurt. So
I know. And the crazy thing is that my husband loves all those kinds of wild things, like blah, blah. Like so. Sometimes when he starts watching that, I just close my eyes and I go to sleep. I force myself to sleep because I just know that it's gonna hurt my spirit. It will hurt my feelings.
yeah.
Juliet is back. Welcome back.
I
We're
don't know
almost
what
rounding up,
happened.
Breathe,
guys.
Juliet.
We're almost rounding up, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, it just cut abruptly, and I don't know what happened. I'm sure it was a network. So about the guy I was talking about after the event, let me fast forward it. After the event, he was like, yeah, it's true, you're good at what you do, but I'm not comfortable. If you have anything to share, share it just with me. Don't share with the public. I understand your intention is to encourage people to let them know that no matter what they're going through, they can bounce back. But I don't want you to meet my parents and tell them that you are a psychologist or psychotherapist. See, the relationship ended on the street that same
There you
day.
go.
That person is wanting you not to be you.
Yeah.
And you should stay away from people who
Yes.
want to make you somebody else that you're not. You are a psychotherapist.
Yes.
I ended on that street. I ended out there. I did not even go. I said, you know what? Thank you, but I don't think I want to proceed knowing you or anything because you cannot offer me emotional safety.
That screams
And your mindset
dictatorship.
is just so stagnant. And this is what I do. I help people. And how can you help somebody if you don't let the person know that there's help out there? So if you're not comfortable, sweetheart, either you come for therapy or you just go because I don't have the energy for this.
That
And it
screams
ended there.
depression. That screams
Yes.
dictatorship.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't know about you,
Yes.
Joyce. That screams
Yes.
dictatorship.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh
It
yes.
starts from that, and the next thing will be, don't talk to this person.
That's right. That's
Don't wear
right.
this. Change
Yes.
that hair.
Exactly. I started complaining about my hair. I'm like, Jesus,
Okay.
please, it's ending here, please.
Yes.
Thank you. So
Yes.
we need to know when to allow who to speak into our lives, which will in turn affect how we see ourselves.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant.
We need to
Absolutely.
Yes. I don't know.
mind
I
what
don't
you
know about
hear,
you.
mind what you see. And sometimes you can hear things unintentionally, but be conscious of what you see or
What
what
you
you
let to
hear,
get
what
to
you
you.
allow yourself to hear, your circle, the people you allow around you. Because sometimes you cannot avoid it. But when it's entering, let it not when they're saying it, let it just be jumping here and falling out. Unless there are those people that are your accountability partners that will
Yes.
sit you down and say, hey, at this point, like you said, this is red, it's not blue, and we need to
Yes.
retreat.
This is blue, sis. I'm telling you, this is blue.
Yeah.
And you
Because
know that
trust
she
me,
means blue.
Yes.
exactly. And
Yes.
she means no evil. She has no ulterior motive.
Absolutely.
I have
Yes.
such people in my life that when they tell me this, I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. And I
Yeah.
sit back.
No.
When I
That's my
evaluate
tribe.
myself,
Those are my
Yeah.
I
sisters.
know that, yes, I was wrong here.
Yeah.
And I know when to say no and withdraw,
Sisters.
so that I don't
I don't
have the burnout. No.
I don't know about you ladies, but I love this discussion. Like I just love that we're talking about our stuff.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. I don't know. I
It's
want this to happen again. I don't know. I just feel like I would like to see this happen again. Like because I don't think that we can finish talking about our issues, our
it's needed.
problems, our
It's
our
needed.
traumas, our I don't know about you ladies, but that's the feeling I'm getting right now. Like I love this.
Yeah.
I'm loving
It's
it. Thank you, sisters.
it
Thank you
is
so
it
much.
is it is needed. And with the pandemic too, it's a
Yeah.
whole nother level, a
Yeah.
whole nother level of mental health that has just skyrocketed. So yes,
I
it
Yes.
love
is
this.
really needed.
I love
Yes.
this. I don't know, but I just love it. And I know that it's needed. I
Yes.
know it's needed. Somebody will watch this later. People who are not on right now, is going to help somebody out there. It's going to encourage somebody. It's going to empower somebody. So, ladies, as we wrap up, what power words of wisdom can we share with the ladies, with the ladies and gents who are watching us today, who are going to watch us later on?
Woo! Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, sisters. Um, for me personally, and I think a lot of these words have been echoed throughout our discussion, is first finding yourself. Um, who are you? And aligning yourself to people that genuinely care about you and your well-being. It's not just you,
Yeah.
but your well-being.
Mhm.
And I always say this, you know who those people are.
Yes.
And when it comes to mental health, I will not lie to you. When you are able to know yourself, finding yourself, self-awareness, and you have that one or two people that you've aligned yourself to and care about you and your well-being, I will tell you from personal experience that life becomes so much more.
Yes.
Life, there is peace. There is peace because you know who you are. There is peace because you have a support system that
Yes.
is ready to say, hey, Joyce, it's not red, it's pink.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's not gray, it's white. So for me, to anyone out there, please take care of you. I am here. If you ever need to talk, I'm available.
Yes. It starts with knowing you and having a solid why behind anything you do. Be intentional and always see to it that you take conscious, determined, deliberate actions in the direction of your goal.
Mm,
Bam.
mm, mm, mm.
And whatever failures you've had in the past, in terms of your behavior, in terms of your relationships, in terms of businesses or whatever, see to it that your next venture doesn't suffer from your ex mistakes. No,
Ah,
Hello.
like Lisa
Hello.
Nichols
preach
says,
now, sister.
your next shouldn't pay for your ex. No.
Yes.
Preach on, sister. Bring it on.
Yes.
Bring it on.
And you have
That's
to
what the
Come
ex
hard
let
for
part.
this
go.
lady.
You have to let go of some of these things so you can grow into your area
Yes.
of gifting.
Open up
Okay.
space.
I
Yes.
am a therapist. I am a
Mm,
certified therapist,
mm.
psychotherapist. I have the skills and I've been helping people declutter their mind, their emotions, and figure things out.
And
And
you
no
have a show coming
matter,
up that will address
yes,
this
yes,
specifically.
I have a physical office here in Bamenda and an
Wow.
online office too. So distance is not a barrier.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
And above all, even though you are going through whatever it is you're going through, choose to love and accept yourself completely. Yeah. Because you are the most valuable person in your life at any time T.
Mm.
Amen.
However, when those clouding moments come, when your perspectives are blinded and you think that the only thing to do is to end this life I have consciously, I want you to do this. Oxygenate your brain by intentionally breathing. And how would you do that? You take a deep breath in through your nostrils, just like I'm going to do now, and out through your mouth. You do it again, like you oxygenate the brain by inhaling deeply, like
Wow.
and out again, out. One more time. Out. By so doing, you're decluttering the
Oh.
mind, you're
Wow.
oxygenating the brain, and it's
Yeah.
not focusing on that issue, but it's trying to get air so it can breathe as well and give you clarity.
Woo.
And
Woo.
another, I love you.
Yes,
If
sister.
nobody has told you, I'm telling you now, I love
I
you
love
and
you
I
too.
really do.
I
Love you
love
too,
you
Okay?
sis.
too. I
I
Get a
love
love
you
you
virtual hug
too.
too.
from me right now.
Listen.
Yes, yes, yes,
Ah.
yes.
Woo. To
All
every
right, and
parent out there.
I'm gonna give my own word right now. So hey,
Mhm.
listen, let me take a minute first of all to say I love these ladies that you see here. I've grown a community of women. They're very few and they're very unique, you know, carefully selected. And I believe that the universe, I believe that heaven, that God brought us together for a reason. And I want to tell you, ladies, I love you, ladies. I
Love you
love you, ladies. I'm proud of you, ladies. I know that I can always count on you, ladies. I'm grateful that you ladies exist, that I know you, ladies, that I'm connected to you.
Mm.
And I want to tell all of you out there who are watching us, who come by this program, find your tribe.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
certainly people out there who love you, who care about you, who never judge you. If you are in a crowd of people that are always throwing stones at you, that are always judging you, that don't see anything good in you, know that you are in the wrong crowd. The other day, a lady talked about she had the courage to dump the wrong boyfriend. Listen,
Mm,
Julia just mentioned something that happened to her. She was in a wrong relationship or about to start one, but she quickly picked it up. When you
mm,
find those kind of people who cannot celebrate you, who only see faults in you, that should tell you you are in a wrong place. If the
mm,
people around you don't celebrate you, they don't compliment you, they don't tell you thank you, as little as thank you, they don't tell you, hey, sister, you look beautiful. Hey, sister, you did well. know that you're in the wrong crowd. There are relationships where you only give, they never give back to you. And giving doesn't mean giving physical things, it could just
Mm.
mean checking on your sister, and that sister never checks on you. Hello,
Mm.
you are in the wrong relationship. Listen,
Yeah.
it's a two-way street. You need self love, you need help, you need support. I need it too, right? But if I see that I'm only giving and nothing is coming back, it's the wrong relationship for me. And it's maybe time for me to incise. The other day, when I did the training on productivity and decision making, I talked about the fact that when you make a decision, and that decision could start today, to move your life forward and to choose only what is going to improve you personally. Incision, decision involves two things. Incision, you got to cut the things that don't matter, and addition, right?
Mm.
You add those things that matter to you, those things that empower you, those things that uplift you. It could be groups of women, it could be church, it could be the word of God, it could be music, it could be uplifting messages. Add them. And that decision starts today. Your next move is with your decision. It lies with the decision that you make right now. Even the decision to take whatever substance and put in your body and your life is a decision. You've thought about it over and over and over and over. But did you try to talk yourself out of it? What did you use to counteract that negative energy that was coming to you strongly?
Mm.
We all get there, but you need to know when to cut the extra cloth that is not needed, that extra thing that is
Mm.
hanging over the edge. You need to know when to cut it, and you need to know when to add, what to add into the mix. When you taste your soup and your cooking, if you taste that the salt is not okay, you know it's not okay. You got to add maybe some more salt or some more seasoning. But sometimes when you cook and you put in too much salt, you can already tell when you taste it that, oh, I messed up the soup. Too much salt. Then you start looking for how you can fix it. Let's always try to fix it. If it's too hard for you, find somebody to talk to. Find a tribe. Find your soul sisters. Find your soul brothers. Just find that thing that is going to bring your power back. And use those exercises that Julia just taught us right now. I never knew about those. Thank you. There's always help out here. Please don't be shy to ask, but just be careful who to ask from.
Yeah.
That's my last word. I'm gonna hand the mic back to MCJ. This is her show.
Oh man, ladies, thank you both for everyone that's every queen or king that has joined us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, as Gwen mentioned, we will be back. It's a topic that will be an ongoing discussion because that is life. It's happening.
Yes.
But everything with Echo today, I just wanted to leave you with some tips for, a healthy mental health status. All right. Number one, talk to someone. Like we said, find your tribe, find that one person. Take care of your physical health. Take care of your physical health. Do things that make you happy. Remember, a keyword here is you.
Mhm.
It's not them,
Mm.
you. What makes you happy? Empower yourself. I think Gwen talked about this. Empowering yourself, right? Excision and addition.
Yes.
Cut it out and add on. And last but not least, Juliet has challenged on this so much today. Positive self affirmation.
Mm.
Those are the few tips that I wanted to leave us today. And as we get ready to leave out, please, the people in your lives that you need to check upon, that you need to reach out to. Remember, don't send a text. Stop.
Call.
Call them. Show up. Take them out for lunch. And sometimes it may take 1 or 2, 3 attempts, but don't give up.
Yes.
Yep.
So, ladies, thank you both. It's been simply humbling.
Namaste.
And please go out. Let's take care of one another, and let's continue to know that again, social media, it's not it. There's so much more to life and finding peace is so much more important. So, Coach Gwen, back to you, Doc.
This was our way of showing love.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
Valentine's season, and we wanted to
Yeah,
show you that we love you, we care
yeah,
about you, and we're here for you.
yes,
So
absolutely.
everyone out there, our hearts go
Understand.
out to you. We
yes,
love you, but
yes,
you have to love yourself first
Mm.
absolutely.
in order to experience this love that we're sharing out to you.
That's
Thank you
right.
so much, ladies. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
MCJT,
thank you, darling.
thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing this. I
Thank you
just
for
created
putting
a
me on.
platform and I told you this is your show. I'm just adding. All right. You and Juliet, you did great. Thank you,
Yes,
Thank
ladies.
you.
thank you,
Thank you
ladies.
so much.
Stay
Thank
blessed.
you. Good
All right.
night.
So we're going to
It's
end.
11 p.m.
I'm
already
just
here.
gonna play a song here because that's a song that we have
Okay.
here in the queue. It's a song by a popular Nigerian gospel artist that I really love, and I just wanted to warm somebody's heart out here. It's Victory. He has given me victory. So we're just going to end with this song, and I want you to know whatever it is that you're going through, whatever pain, heartache, whatever it is that you're going through, Jesus has given you victory. If you believe it, it will be true in your life. So bye,
Amen.
ladies. I'll see you
Amen.
next time. God bless you all.
Bye
Bless
bye.
you. Bye.